day.
So endowing the facility is one thing, but I guess recruitment, we'd call it in business terms, is key here.
Recruitment is key, as is evangelical effort. A lot of our time on behalf of the foundation is simply spent trying to convey the message that individuals with special needs are first and foremost entitled to be happy and enriched just like the rest of us. But secondly, from a somewhat selfish point of view, they have tremendous gifts to give us. They can teach us about courage. They can teach us the meaning of love. They can teach us about the importance of simple things in life. So a lot of our time is spent simply trying to convey that message. The rooms are just one vehicle to help deploy that.
And I guess the phone rings, the word gets around, it's the same as the companies. They say, let's call Mr. Kirchner. We want a room like this. Is that how it works? Hospitals call you?
Yeah, hospital. I mean, again, I can give you a quick example. Not too long ago, we had a call from a school board, had a school with 250 children with special needs and a budget that they were unable to do anything special for these children. They were just exposed to conventional programs. So we went, we met the children, we talked to the teachers, got a sense of what we would call sensory diet would have been for the children. We recognized that there was at least two different situations. Some children were completely unable to get around except with assistance. Others were more mobile but still had infirmities. And so we actually there donated two different rooms, one designed for the children with much restricted limitations and the other for the other children. So that's kind of how the process works.
And I'm struck when you say we went and checked it out. And you'd do that with a company too. You'd go and check it out. And I remember reading, I think it was a biography of Benjamin Graham, who was that legendary investor at Columbia.
Warren Buffett's teacher.
That's right. And in the 20s, he would do that. He would go visit companies, and all of Wall Street would just laugh at him and say, "What are you doing, wasting your time? Look at the numbers and do your money stuff, and that's it." And nowadays, though, it has become practically a truism. You can't get anything good done in business or in social entrepreneurship unless you're hands-on and really put your nose in it.
Well, I think the reason I travel 270 to 300 days a year is the fact that I believe that very firmly, that I could just simply sit at my desk and answer the phone calls, as you suggest. But the reality is that I need to understand what the situation is. I have to rely on my instincts. I've spent a long time trying to sharpen my skills as an entrepreneur. So whether it's in a business setting or a social setting, I like to try to deploy them from the grassroots up.
And did your son, who's now the hidden angel, but as he was growing up, see all of this unfolding and in a sense realize he was giving his life so that this could be done for others?
We believe that that was the case. He was unable to communicate in a conventional manner, but the reality is that we believe very firmly that this is his mission, not ours.
And the parents of these children, I assume you meet them too? Are they, because it's not a problem that is easily addressed, and certainly not by health systems that want pathology with cures and drugs and so on. They must be quite grateful when you...
Well, I think they're grateful. I think that they're, in a sense, relieved that really it's such a simple thing to help their children. That, I mean, the reality is the ultimate sensory experience is a hug. And sometimes you just have to remind people that as difficult it may be to deal with someone with special needs, you can enrich their life through the most simple gesture, and that goes back to the lessons I said that these individuals can teach us.
And to go back to business a little bit, I think people by now realize you're a person who's capable of great hope and great optimism, but no fool. You're very realistic and hands-on. So get us out of this recession. What would you suggest? I mean, small and medium-sized companies are the motor of almost every economy. What would you suggest?
Well, I think, as you say, that really we need to start to focus on what we would call small and medium enterprise, mid-market companies. It is the engine of the economy. It's where the most jobs are created, and the reality is it's where the great ideas are being born. So what we need to do is go back to the fundamentals. We need to start looking for good ideas. We need to look for very committed, intelligent people, and we have to provide them with the resources to succeed. I like to think one of those resources is the Kirchner Private Capital Group, where we can provide those people with the been there, done that expertise that they need throughout the various stages of what they're doing, whether it's turning an idea into a business, buying another company, creating an exit for themselves. This is what we do, and it's designed to help build these companies good times and bad times. And you travel all over the world. You deal with companies from all over the world. Mr. Friedman in the New York Times keeps banging on this nail, saying the U.S., and you could include Canada in that, have had it easy for so long.
that we're not worried about innovation anymore. We're not worried about hard work. We somehow think it's all going to come our way. Meanwhile, these other countries, India and so on, are busy, busy, busy. Is that your impression?
I think it's an oversimplification, but I think for sure we have been lured into a sense of, a false sense of security. Innovation, tenacity, sacrifice, these are the things that build great economies. I think other countries are at a stage in their development where that's perhaps more the rule than the exception. But I would never underestimate the North American entrepreneur. And I believe that, as I said earlier, with the right kind of resources, you will see a lot of great innovation coming out of North America.
And would you also say that the cold shower on Wall Street didn't last long? They didn't get punished very much. That's a feeling that's out there. Yeah. And they're back to partying. That's not very reassuring. Yeah. What's your take on it?
I mean, I think unfortunately that appears to be true. I think that one would have hoped such a sobering experience would have carried a lifelong lesson for people. I'm not sure that happened. But again, a lot of what goes on Wall Street is not about small and medium enterprise. Small and medium enterprise is closer to Main Street than Wall Street. So I think these are the companies that it's a much smaller transition back to the fundamentals. And I hope that more and more opportunities will present itself for these companies to see that mission as opposed to the delusions of grandeur that is sometimes Wall Street.
And Bud Kirchner, to end, I know some people will have picked up on the Hidden Angel Foundation. Do you have a website? Where should they?
We do. If people would be kind enough to go to CDHAF, Christopher Douglas Hidden Angel Foundation.org.
They will find out.
They will find out.
Okay, and I'm sure many of them will. Thank you so much. Long life to you and to the foundation.
Thank you very much.
Bud Kirchner. And here's that web address again for the Hidden Angels Foundation. This has been Entrepreneurs, the Dobson series of The World Show. I'm Bob Scully. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. Thanks.